publicist of TheLadyinRedblog.com. For the latest takes on entertainment, music, food, fashion, and fun, come check me out at TheLadyinRedblog.com.
This is G-Way, and you're listening to Hamilton Radio.
This is VR, listening to Hamilton Radio.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, January 26th, 2016. It's ridiculous how we are just in 2016. 2015 was last year, and now it's 2016. It's ridiculous, isn't it, Laura?
Yes, and I was here last year, and I'm here again this year. Look at that.
I think I have to keep you around. I'm sorry.
I love it. I love it here. Thanks for having me back, Dani.
You're very welcome. And welcome to the DJ Dani Show. I'm your host, DJ Dani. I'm joined in the studio by the Lady in Red, also known as my co-host, Laura Madsen.
Hello.
And I also have, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
I'm glad.
This has been so fun. I loved everything leading up to the show tonight. We have some really great guys in studio.
I'm ready to announce their names, right? We're making everyone wait longer and longer. All right, so I have Mark Helwig, Johnni Levi, Levi, awesome. And Adam Ratcliffe here.
Ratcliffe with a T.
Ratcliffe.
D-Rat, yep.
So how are you guys doing, and where are you from exactly?
We're actually off, except for Mark and I'm from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I guess it would be, right now I live in Warminster, which is 15 minutes north of the northeast part of Philadelphia. So when I go out into the world, I just say I'm from Philly. Yeah.
I'm originally from the Lehigh County, Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I live in Berks County now.
How did you guys meet?
I was actually looking for a guy to split axe with, not like wood axe, but axe.
That reminded me of Dave Coulier when you said that. Wood.
The pub, when you go in and you play songs. I was just starting to come out of the lead singer type of gig into my own solo gig, and I needed people to kind of split a show with me because I didn't have enough songs to cover at the time. So Matt was one of the first people to split. I guess we would do. Mark and Johnni Levi we would split about 4 hours of music and keep everybody happy.
So, Adam, you are not just a musician, but you're also an actor. So I guess we're going to touch on a little bit of both tonight.
We have to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have to. So, first question to you is, how did this all get started?
I'm not going to get all Billy Bob Thornton on you and be like, I just want to talk about music, man. French fried potatoes. That's Sling Blade.
Mustard.
So how did this all get started? Was it music first, acting first, both? What was the catalyst here?
It seems to be recycling itself. It goes in rotations. And now it's my focus seems to be very much music based on a script that was written. Actually, Johnni Levi and I put together a couple years ago. But I started the acting. I was an athlete, and in about the 7th grade, the principal had heard that I had a heck of a voice, and being the Danny Zuko of the junior high school, who played football too, and was a starter on a varsity team as a 7th grader. She heard I could sing. There was a play called Bye Bye Birdie coming to the school. It was a blue ribbon school, so it was a very, very.
Did you play Conrad?
And I played Conrad, yeah.
I kind of
so I was kind of thrust into the spotlight, and the place was sold out for 2 weeks, and they take their, junior high school plays very, very seriously, and we were, like I said, after that we were a blue ribbon school for years and years. So Tamanna Middle School put me on the stage as Conrad Birdie, and the rest is really history. It's the only thing that I can compare scoring a touchdown to the adrenaline rush of the standing ovation, and I don't want to say adoration, but it was definitely felt neat to have an audience, a live audience, accept what your work. At that time I didn't see it as work, but it seems to have become that based on the fact that I could sing a little bit. And as you know, athletics nowadays is entertainment. So
yeah, even wrestlers.
I was what is that TV show? High School
Musical?
Musical
Oh,
before High
Glee?
School Musical.
Was it
Yeah,
Glee?
no,
Oh, it was
Glee
Okay,
before it even
I was
existed.
gonna say High School Musical wasn't a TV show; it was a movie. But you're good. You're good.
Yeah, the kid who died like 2 years ago. That's who I was.
Yeah,
before,
Corey Furlan.
a couple decades before he even existed. So.
Yes, I know who you were. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, with you being in theater, you said you had the adrenaline rush, and you said that was better than a touchdown, or was the touchdown better than the?
No, nothing was better than a touchdown at that point in my life. There was 2 goals that I had in my life, and one was to play in the NFL, and the other was at that point had become, okay, this is something that I could see myself doing if that doesn't pan out and if I don't grow another foot, because at that time I was very adept at what it was to be a professional football player, because I had started playing football at like 4.
Oh my gosh.
My brothers are all older. I'm one of 5. So, you know, I knew it was my gift, but I also knew that my dad was 5'6", and my mother was 5'10". So if I went the way my mother, my oldest brother turned out to be 6'2", and the rest of us are barely 6 foot, and I'm actually the shortest at 5'10". So being a linebacker, I would have had to have had like insane speed to go on and make a living at it, and just, you know, it just wasn't in the cards. So.
And if you were, though, what team would you want to do? I know you don't want it now, but I'm just asking.
No, I
you
still
to-
want it. I mean, it's like the place you go when you get to heaven, right? It's the dreams that never came true. But
Good dreams never die.
yeah, man, it's still a dream that I still go to sleep at night wishing that I could tackle, you know, Marshall Falk in the
You know what's
background.
funny is I still dream that I wish I could be 5'10", because I'm only 5'8".
Oh,
So-
because you're 5'10", right? Was that the joke?
With my shoes on, I'm 5'10". Most people think I'm 5'8". You know?
I am
Well,
5'8".
on your IMDb page, it says you're 5'10",
That's
with shoes on.
it's giving, yeah, with shoes on, with boots on.
Johnny, what's your background with music?
I guess really I started mostly just singing in the shower when I was a kid, and then hey, that's all the great start there. you
It
know?
is, isn't it?
And then I can remember singing Boys of Pennsylvania. Some choir director came to my school. I ended up getting involved with that. Dropped out of it for a long time, and strangely enough, I actually got involved with a Christian contemporary band, and I did that for about 6-7 years, and then I kind of got away from that. It really wasn't what I wanted to do, and just started writing songs and going and playing. My advice to anybody who wants to get into music is just go out and do it, because that's how you learn. That's how you get out there. That's how you learn the ropes. I mean, it's like Dave Grohl said, forget American Idol and all this other shows. You know, you go out and do it and learn your craft. So.
And for me, I'd be remiss. I want to kind of circle back. My grandfather, he did some Broadway
Yes,
shows.
I saw that. What show? Do you know?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I want to say 12 Angry Men,
Okay.
which
I've
was
heard of
perfect for
them.
him because he was kind of like a Skid Row. I'm not disrespecting him. My
No,
grandfather,
no,
he
it's
was a Skid Row alcoholic, drunk,
Mm-hmm.
but he was talented. You know, an idiot savant type. But we never saw him in that light. But he, me being the youngest, knew that I had a little bit of aptitude for vocal stuff, and he would teach me. So my first song was Red Red Robin,
Yes.
and I taught my whole kindergarten class Red Red Robin, and apparently it was such a thrill to the teacher that she made it a point to get us up in front of the whole school.
And
So
perform it.
I want to say that before Bye Bye Birdie, that was like, you know, when the seed was planted.
And that's
cool.
exactly
And we
what
want to
you're-
know, do you sing in the shower too?
No, I actually don't. You know, it's funny. Like I'm not in love with singing as much as the people that I surrounded myself with after 7th grade. I was in the, you know, like Justin Guarini was in the 7th grade. I heard his when he was singing with Boys to Men. He was a really big deal, and he was like right across town in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And I thought to myself then, it's like, I really like singing, but I'm a football player. So it was still kind of like an identity, you know, what I am, you know, what am I type of thing. But I'm not like in love with my own voice, to be honest with you. I like to emulate other people's voices, and I think, you know, when I get down to it, you know, Allman Brothers, Bruce Springsteen, if those, it depends. It depends in the moment how I'm feeling.
Would you say they're your inspirations, though? Like, did they...
Yeah,
also...
I mean, like I said, I remember really falling in love with music around 6th and 7th grade, and girls calling my house to hear me sing Steve Miller Band, The Joker, I think it was. No, it was.
I was thinking New Kids on the Block, but
Nah, dude,
I love New
I'm
Kids
an
on
old
the
head,
Block.
bro. What was it? What was that song? Hanging Tough. I do remember that, and it becoming really silly right away. But Justin Bieber before his time. Yeah, so that was when I really started to fall in love with music, and I did find out that I had a decent enough voice to, get in select choir. Mark Helwig, my piano player who's here, he was actually in the select choir with me, and it was awesome, man. It was called Chieftains, and it's funny
Are you gonna
because
talk about it or no?
no, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
He's shy. But anyway, like I said, it was a big deal. In my town, theater was a very big deal. A lot of artists. Everybody's an artist in Doylestown. As Matt knows, we play in the pubs. It's one of the hardest places to get respect because people are very talented there.
Yeah.
You know, Pink's from there. Justin Guarini's from there. I'm from there. That sounded pompous, but whatever. I guess I got to toot my own horn if I'm going to do this thing, right?
Yeah.
You're good.
Right.
You're good.
Did you have any formal training, either of you?
Yes.
not really. No.
Okay.
I would
So
say
something's in the water a little bit, right? You
My mom sang too, and she's
1940s. They were in a 1940s thing.
that was my grandfather, but my mom can sing like Aretha on Give It a Good Day, but
Oh, that's nice.
yeah,
Oh,
so
Aretha.
it was definitely instilled from my mother and her father. But she took me to a guy in Chalfont, Pennsylvania named David Casey, who was training all those guys. A couple of them ended up on Broadway, and like I said, it was
That's
something
good.
the area very much encouraged the arts.
So what made you? Well, you still said you were doing that, and then you still wanted to be a football player.
The whole time, yeah. I mean,
Do you still feel like you want to be one now?
no, I'm old now.
Well, I mean,
I'm past
I'm not
36.
saying you're old.
Let's just say that. I'm going to leave it at that.
But I think you're still trying to branch out into so many different areas because you act and you also write and you're kind of.
I've always been an observer of life. I've always been a very, I guess, chameleon type of person because I grew up in a pub. My mom and dad split when I was 4, and
I'm sorry.
no, it's
Sorry,
trust
I
me.
have
If that's
so-
the saddest part, there's a lot more that'll make you cry. Trust me. So, yeah, and the pub was like a pub is. It was a very rough and rowdy place at times in the '80s for sure. And by the time me being an '80s kid, '84, I was probably 6 years old. So I had heard every curse word in the book. I had seen every walk of life walk into that place. And I've heard every story, good, bad, and indifferent, at that point. So I became a chameleon. I became an entertainer through that process. And my aunt says, she's one of my biggest supporters. Aunt Kathy, if you're listening, thank you so much. But I perform on the bars, Beastie Boys. What was the big Beastie Boys song, dude?
Sabotage? Or
No.
the first original album?
So wait, you
Got to
performed
fight for your right to
Yeah.
party.
on the bar.
On the bar.
On the bar.
At
Oh, that's a good story.
About 5 years old.
This-
And
oh, so it
I
was
was always kid. I mean, what is it? Kid at Rock?
Kid at Heart.
No.
Kid Rock.
Kid. No.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them. There was MCA.
Yeah.
So my nickname when I moved to New York City at 23 became, all my buddies were from the Bronx. That was Ad Rock.
Ad
My
Rock.
name's Adam. Ad Rock. Kid Ad Rock was one of the Beastie Boys, and that was always me. I had the hat flipped up in the front, and like.
And this was before you could even have a YouTube moment. I wish we had
Everybody
that
was
now.
a skater in the '80s, so that was kind of like my little.
You didn't want to
fad.
be a skater though.
No, I tried it. I mean, I was
Didn't.
always an athlete.
Now, could you see yourself doing a national anthem at a football stadium? I mean, you said you don't want to do football.
Sure.
You're
I mean,
old, so-
if we
but
could,
you're not
I
old.
mean, okay.
But-
So let's fast forward to 32 years old. I met Matt. I wrote one thing before I wrote The Subway Song,
Okay.
and it was called The Philly Kid. I lived in Los Angeles after having spent 5 years in New York City, Midtown Manhattan. Actually, I lived in Harlem, then I lived in Queens, and I lived in Midtown Manhattan for 3 years.
You lived everywhere.
I did. I finally decided I don't want to get on the subway, and I just want to, foot it as much as I can, which the theater district is right there. And, it was a daunting place when I first got there. It changed me, changed everything about me, changed the way I see the world. You can literally see the whole world in a matter of 10 blocks. And the bottom line is, I got on Law and Order. I studied with a man named Vincent D'Onofrio. Okay, let's go back. So I met this guy in Doylestown. His daughter was on Broadway, and she was Baby Louise. You're a theater person, I can tell.
Yes.
In Gypsy.
Okay.
I was saving up a bunch of money to go to LA at 23 after college.
Yeah.
I was working at NBC in the nighttime, and I was washing cars during the day. So I'd go down to Philly and do my little thing, log the Phillies highlights. I met this guy in Doylestown. He says to me, my daughter's on Broadway. You should check out New York before you decide to take this money that you've saved up and go to LA.
Yeah.
So I went to this show. It was Gypsy. I had never really spent much time in New York at the time. Mm-hmm. It was a fantastic show. She was 10. It was very inspiring.
Oh, my gosh.
Jack Nicholson walks by me. Oh. She gets Jack Nicholson's autograph. And it was like, I'm coming here, man. Like, I took his picture. He got pissed off at me. He got mad at me. I don't know if I could say that. But
it's fine. It's not a curse.
He was sweating. He says, thanks, pal. I said, I'm sorry, Jack. You were just one of my heroes, And from that time, the father was actually studying. He's a lifelong theater class person.
Gosh.
So he was studying in a class where Vincent D'Onofrio from Law & Order was the assistant teacher. If you don't know who Vincent D'Onofrio is, he was in Men in Black as the overall Edgar
I've
farmer
never seen
dude.
Men in Black, but I know who Vincent D'Onofrio is from Law & Order. So
His biggest role for a guy that's my age who's over the hill, coming up on Over the Hill, was Full Metal Jacket. He played... I don't know. He played, I forget, Private Pile on Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Do you remember Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
He blows his head off?
Mm-hmm.
That was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
So, I kind of made fun of him with that scene. And
He played in the movie The Cell, too.
The Cell. He's a very, very
he's a
cerebral...
Yeah, he's in that law show, too. There's a crime show that he's in. He's one of the actors in that, too.
He's in... Right now, he's kicking butt. He's back on top. Criminal Intent. And now he's on... He was in Jurassic World.
Oh, okay.
And he's in the
I've never seen Jurassic World either.
TV show that's...
Superhero?
It's like, it's... somebody out there knows what I'm talking about.
All right, well...
So anyway,
let's fast forward.
Fast forward from there. I start coming up with ideas because I bump into Matthew Modine, who's also Vincent D'Onofrio's buddy from the movie... where he blows his head off. Did I just mention it?
Full Metal
Jacket.
Yeah,
so I bump into Matthew Modine, who played a wrestler in a movie called Vision Quest in the 80s. I love the guy. I'm on the phone with my brother. I said, Josh, I'm sitting here staring at Matthew Modine on Fifth Avenue. He goes, leave him alone. I go, no. I don't bother too many people, but Vision Quest is one of the all-time. Madonna actually made her big debut in Vision Quest with what song? I forget.
Surgery?
I've been hitting the head a lot.
Not surgery.
It was like a heart song, like
was it Crazy for You?
Crazy? It was Crazy for You. So anyway, Matthew Modine and I have a conversation when my brother and I are sitting here talking. He's like, "Leave him alone, Adam." I'm like, "I'm not leaving him alone. I'm having a conversation. I'm engaging the guy." And I tell him about my idea. Mm-hmm. Mixed martial arts is on the rise at this point, and it kind of hit me that there was definitely going to be a movie about mixed martial arts, and it was definitely going to do well. And I told him, I said, what do you think about me doing that? What do you think about me writing a script? He said, you got to keep it as small as possible. Vision Quest was a really big movie.
Yeah.
And he kind of gave me the go-ahead, Matthew Modine. I was on my way to an audition that day. And I wrote a script that I took with me in 2005 to L.A. I wrote it in book format, and I needed help with it. My roommate, the first person that I moved in with, happened to be a writer, a trained writer.
That's good.
And it was good at the time. We made a compilation of a script. Mm-hmm. He put it into a format where 3 years later, I'm fast forwarding, it gets picked up by After Dark Warner Brothers production company.
Oh my God.
I'm walking away from the acting business at the time because I was going through something personal with a relationship. I was in the police academy in Conshohocken. Mm-hmm. He calls me in week 16 of the police academy in Conshohocken and says, Warner Brothers just put out $200,000, Joel Silver, to cast the Philly Kid. I'm sending you a check for the story by. Where do I send the check? And they want it signed within the next 24 hours or they'll never use you as an actor or a writer ever again. Jesus. So I was in the police academy. I don't have a time to look for the lawyer. So they literally faxed it to the police academy. I signed it. I get a nice little check, no credit. It was a really, really rough experience, but I needed the money, and sometimes they pigeonhole you in situations like that because they know that you need the money, and then they say, we will probably use you.
But
my co-writer, unbeknownst to me, did not want me on set. He has since, this was 2009, he has since written absolutely nothing from that time on. So, I managed to pick myself up, dust myself off. I met Johnni Levi. We started writing something that I came up with because I met a guy on New Jersey Transit that happened to go by the name of Mark McGraw, Tim McGraw's brother.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I met him
Small
at
world.
Hamilton train station right up the road. I got a script. He's got a script. Real good-looking guy. We clearly were going for an audition. He was going for something. I was going for something. I was going for SVU as a firefighter that day, and there was something called a Halligan knife that I was telling him. I don't know what a Halligan knife is. He's like, no way. I was a firefighter in Oregon for 14 years. This is what a Halligan knife is. He tells me what it is. We get off at Penn Station. We trade phone numbers. He tells me this whole story about Tim, not knowing who his father was until he was 12 years old, snuck in his mother's bedroom, found his birth certificate. On this birth certificate it said McGraw. His name up to that point was Smith or something, his stepfather's name. McGraw came from Tug McGraw, who happened to be in his room on a poster as a baseball pitcher, World Series baseball pitcher for the Phillies. His favorite baseball pitcher in the world was his father. He didn't know it until he was 12 years old. And he was from Philly. So I start coming up with ideas as to how I can take this story, make it my own so I don't get sued and go through what I went through with the Philly Kid and just give it away. So at this point, Johnny and I meet, and we kind of come up with, I think I had written a draft, right?
Yeah, like a template, like a, what do you call it?
A treatment.
like
a treatment, yeah.
yeah.
I'm not.
An outline.
Yeah.
Yeah, an outline. So we spent about a year putting that together, and we changed it so much, like I said, because we wanted to make it our own.
I think you drew on a lot of your own experiences too, because think about the places you lived and the talent that you've experienced and seen on the way, which kind of is a huge part of the Subway Son, which is what.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just to kind of brush over, I did have an experience, some struggles with my own alcoholism. I did not go through rehab or anything like the character, but the character gets sober through a church, through a black church. So I kind of cross over cultures, which is amazing.
That was the Subway Son, right?
The Subway Son, yeah. I mean, it's so prevalent to what is happening in our society today. And in the movie, like I said, I've written two things, and I feel stronger about the Subway Son than I did with the Philly Kid. I knew something was going to happen with the Philly Kid eventually. Philly Kid wound up on Netflix. $3 million picture that they shot in New Orleans, and I felt not nearly as passionate.
Because that's not yours anymore, is it?
It really isn't. I mean, it started as mine, and it was kind of like somebody stealing a baby, to be honest.
Well, the Subway Son, too, just so that way not everybody's aware, but now you wrote the script, and currently there is a short film that is out there, and we'll get a little bit more into that later. But the response to the first screening of the Subway Son short film was so great that part of what you're working on right now is expanding it into a feature film this year.
Yeah.
So even though, I just don't want there to be any confusion. It's not like, wait, you said it was made. No, it's not. We're actually broadening the concept to a full-blown feature film at this point.
So it was a short film, and now it's a film.
And even the short film took a lot of time. I mean, Mark, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. Johnni Levi and I, we wrote the thing. Life gets in the way. You start. I'm auditioning constantly, so this was something that I needed to kind of plateau. To catapult myself into a different arena. And I, like I said, I know the product is good, and it took a while to start getting attention, but once I put it out in what's called the breakdowns, which, it happens how you guys met. The internet is making the world so small. Hollywood, because of the internet, has moved outside of Hollywood, and literally entertainment has become like through the internet, you know. And so the bottom line is, we did make a short. It took about a year to do. I was able, through a film that I did in Bucks County, Doylestown, Pennsylvania, to book an actor by the name of Clifton Powell. If you don't know who Clifton Powell is, he was Pinky in the movie Next Friday, Ice Cube's film. He was also in the movie Ray, where he plays.
I never saw that either.
You never saw Ray?
No.
Academy Award. You got to get on this stuff.
I know, Danny.
I
do.
Anyway, he's an extremely talented character actor. He's probably one of the biggest African American character actors out there. If you look him up, you'll know who he is right away. But I was able to get him through a film that I did, and it's just taken on a life of its own. The people
there are a lot of really stellar cast members that are listed right now. We've got Tom Sizemore, Vincent Pastore, Chris Boylan, Justin Guarini.
You know Chris Boylan?
I feel like I've heard, the name is so familiar to me. No, I have a boyfriend. No, but
Chris Boylan plays my younger self. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, you're cast in there as the main character, Aden. Now, just if people aren't aware of what The Subway Son is about, how would you describe this film? How would you summarize?
Well, if you did it in LA terms, which I'm trying to get better at the 30-second elevator pitch. It's one of the hardest things out there. But basically, it is like the movie Basketball Diaries, which I'm sure you haven't seen.
I haven't seen that
It's
either.
one of the best Leonardo DiCaprio performances of all time, and you should see it.
Okay.
I'm being serious. Meets 8 Mile, meets Crazy.
I love 8 Mile.
Meets Crazy
I
Heart.
do know 8 Mile.
Meets the movie Once, which is now a Broadway show.
I've never seen that either.
That's about an Irish performer, street performer. I also, in my travels in New York City, living for the time that I did in Harlem, and I lived in Brooklyn, I would hear some of the greatest music at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I rode a pedicab in New York City, bike taxi, $4,000 bike. So when you do that, you get the rush hour during theater, before theater, and after theater, and that's when you're making money. So if you work hard in New York City, usually you're going to make money at nighttime, and it's like finding money in the street if you work hard, trust me. So I would go home to Harlem at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd hear these like mariachi bands, these any type of music really, but it was some of the greatest stuff I've ever heard, and I've always wondered, why hasn't anybody made a film about that? So again, I took different aspects of my journey and my travels and my own struggles, along with the country element that actually is so music-centric at this point. It's all kind of this big puzzle that's come together to be a timely, unique story about what's happening in the country right now, which is cultures are mixing in music. You have Jason Aldean with Ludacris.
Mm-hmm. I know who Ludacris is.
Jason Aldean is one of the biggest country
I
artists.
think I do.
I
need to know
one
of his songs, though.
Broken Bow Records.
Yeah,
That's his song, yep.
Yeah, and there's Nelly on Tim McGraw. They did a couple cuts and stuff, and Zach Brown had Uncle Cracker rapping on a couple of his songs.
Oh my gosh!
It's just the Florida Georgia line just had
Florida,
I think
Georgia
Ludacris on one of their. You know who Florida Georgia line
definitely. I've lived cruise, so yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I could play that song. Capo on the 3rd fret. So the bottom line is, I hope nobody out there is like a speed writer, because I believe in this story, and I believe that somebody is going to write a story about the collaboration of the mixing of musical, genres, because that's what's happening, and it works.
It seems like, yeah.
Matt writes some country music, and the beats.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think that there is. I think the problem is with music as a society, we've been pigeonholed where I'm a country writer, or I'm a country singer, or I'm a pop writer or a pop singer. Like, me as an individual, I don't believe in that at all. I write everything because I'm being true to myself. And your life, what you write is only the sum of your own experiences. So I think in order to be a good writer, a good actor, a good musician, anything you do in life is based upon everything you bring into yourself, and you reproduce it. So that's what's kind of neat about what Adam's talking about with The Subway Son. This movie is a gritty, cross-cultural story of redemption, but it's about things that are just not, it's not black and white. There's so many colors, and aspects to this. It's not, it's a love story, or it's a crime novel or whatever, you know. So it's I think that in order, something that we're doing and something that I do in my own personal music is I want to be true to what I'm doing and just get it out there, you know, and not necessarily pigeonhole myself. Because bottom line is if you start doing that, you become like a one-trick pony and you never move forward. So
That's true. And I really like the story of the Subway Sun because we follow this homeless man, Aden's journey, his personal journey and his personal struggles, and then the struggles that he encounters along with people as he travels along the way. And, you know, he's musically talented, and you see how it all kind of works together. So it's pretty interesting. So we're talking a lot about music. Adam, did you want to say something?
No, and again, how I made it my own is the father isn't an athlete in this. The father is Tom Sizemore, who I happened to poach from another short film that I play a lot of cops, and I
noticed that, especially in Southpaw.
It's funny. I ran from the cops for so long when I was
because you were in the police academy.
I ran from the cops in real life.
Oh!
I'm telling you, when I say I was a chameleon and hung out with every single different type of crowd, that's you know, eventually you
get the feel of things too.
When you grow up
Johnny.
in a pub, there's definitely cops. And you know, I've had.
I think that adds a lot of realism, though, to the film.
You know what I learned in the police academy is the criminals want to be cops, and cops generally think like criminals. So it's crazily intertwined. If you watch that TV show 48 Hours, I love that.
I've never seen that show.
Oh. But anyway, that's my next screenplay. The father is a musician, and the father, the kid. I don't want to tell you the whole story, but he, like I said, he winds up in a Christian, primarily black church, played by the preacher is played by Brian Anthony Wilson. He's in the movie Creed at the moment. He was cop on The Wire. He plays the guy.
I watched that.
Did you watch Creed?
Yes.
So he's the guy when the kid finally decides he's going to go follow his passion and go to Philadelphia. He's his boss. He says, "Do you really want to do this?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my. He's in your movie?
Yeah.
He's in my movie. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to get an autograph. He's so hot.
Oh, he's awesome. So no, he's not Creed's son. He's the Creed son's boss, Brian
Rocky?
Anthony Wilson.
But he's flattered that you said that.
No, he's the other. You mean the other?
I'll tell him that you said that.
No,
Old horn dog ball.
Because Rocky does Creed, so that's why I was confused. Which one are you talking about?
So the kid, you like Rock? You like Sylvester Stallone?
Yes.
Me too.
My boyfriend just got me into the movie, so I saw the first one and the fourth one.
He's 5'8", by the way. He's my inspiration. I mean, let's just face it. One of the first.
Most good people are 5'8".
So
Thanks, Dad.
which one are you talking about?
I'm talking about the guy who, when the kid in Creed,
Yes.
the Creed's son that doesn't know that his father was Creed, when he
Yes.
leaves his job, his boss sitting across from him, like I'm sitting across from you.
That's him. Okay,
That's
I know who he is. All right.
But he also played.
Is he still hot?
talks like this.
Yes, I know who he is. Okay.
He's got the chef voice from South Park. That's hot, right? Hey,
Brooklyn
baby.
accents are always hot, though. What?
So anyway, yeah, there's him. Who else do we have?
Chris Boylan.
Gosh, we've got so many people. We've got Tony Devin, Connie Romano. I mean, like, we could just go on and on.
Yeah, I mean,
forever
and again, when I say it took on a life of its own, the producers found out, you know, Philly is, it is still up and coming. It's a shame because the venue is so perfect for Philly to do another Rocky type of hit. It really is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's for whatever reason, and I'm probably saying this at the risk of hurting myself, but you know what? I'm going to say it anyway. They use so many L.A. actors in Philadelphia, and there's so much talent in Philadelphia. They need to really start to infiltrate that talent and start to utilize it. I think
there's more talent sometimes in Philly than L.A.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, it's a sensationalized industry and country that we're living in, and that people recycle the same thing over and over again. Then you get Ride Along with The Rock, and I'm sorry, The Rock's not a very good actor. Rock, I'm sorry, but
Dwayne,
yeah. Anyway, the bottom line
what about
is
John Cena?
Yeah, he's funny. So's The Rock, but when Rock tries to play dramatic roles, he really needs to work on it. But he was very funny in a couple of those movies.
The one with the Game Plan.
When he wear the tights, when he was like gold member in one of the afro. Anyway, he was brilliant in The Rock, the character on WWF back in the day.
WWE?
It was WWF.
Oh,
Wow, you're
I only
young.
know WWE.
I think it was probably 18 years ago. It was WWF.
I wasn't born then.
Anyway, so Thomas Walton, Tony Devon, they have a company called Phila Dreams LLC. Phila Dreams
It's a
Films.
production company that's one of the producers of the film The Subway Sons.
Yeah, and they're trying to do that very thing. They're trying to really use it as a platform to make and Subway Sons like one of the key elements to their
and we have a really great director on board too, David Von Rom for The Subway Son.
And David Von Rom came through Phila Dreams Films and Tony Devon and Thomas Walton, and he happens to be Willie Nelson's business partner, which is
Willie
like
Nelson.
when I say this thing took a life of its own. I mean, who could you get? It's the quintessential cowboy, I guess hippie cowboy.
His name
liberal
Gypsy
cowboy.
cowboy.
He's
Gypsy
the man,
cowboy.
dude. So again, and he knows of the story. There's just so many people that keep adding to this project.
And you said something very interesting before we went on air, that you had someone reading the script right now.
Yeah, they actually are going to be reading it in the next couple of days. I sent over the unedited version, and now I'm sending over the edited version to a company, WOF Films. We're not in any sort of contract or negotiations, but a guy named Mark Lipsky, who did Nutty Professor, he did all
that's
the.
what I was supposed to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting how many well-known people have kind of, and it's funny because like some people don't like the title, but the people that do like the title really like the title.
Exactly.
It's catchy to them, and
Well, that's good too, in a good way.
and controversy is always good, right? I mean, like the
You want a
Subway
reaction.
Son,
When
the
you don't
Subway
have a
gave-
reaction, that's when it's bad.
I always think of it as
Most
a
likely.
Subway gave birth to this kid, this idiot savant. It's the Subway's son.
Well, see, I think it's the Subway son, as in like he's
The
the
su-
light in the subway.
yes.
but
You
he
could
is
think of it
also
that way, too.
A boy, which makes him a son.
What's that called in writers' terms?
But he didn't give birth to the subway.
I don't know. What is that called in the writer's terms?
It's like foreshadowing, some sort.
Well, why don't we give people a little taste, though, of like the
Your
music that we've been like talking about so much. We've got a couple of tracks that we can play.
Did you
Connie
notice-
Romano, we did mention her, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's involved with the film. Yes.
She actually, to get the
No,
short
it's
film
okay.
done,
It's okay. Yeah.
I need to mention these people. They stepped up. A guy named Tom Meehan actually was able to help me get Clifton Powell. They come with a price tag, names like Clifton Powell. And again, if you look at the website that we have, thesubwayson.com, www.thesubwayson.com, all those people are contractually attached, which is amazing. Some of them, have been in some heavy hitter movies, and you'd be surprised. But we actually are looking for a female talent. We're investigating Beverly D'Angelo. She was in the Griswolds, and she also was in American History X as the mother in American History X. She's extremely talented, but so we're trying really hard. It's very male centric at the moment. We're trying really hard to get a female lead in there, and so that's basically our focus right now. But the next event will help with that.
Yeah, we'll mention the event in a little while.
Okay.
But let's take a little break.
Yeah,
and,
we should go on a commercial break. We can play a track if you'd like.
Yeah.
So you can, breathe.
Do you think we
relax,
should? Maybe we should
calm
play
down.
something.
How about Misfortunate?
I was just
Misfortunate
thinking,
Son?
Misfortunate Son.
Can I mention in Misfortunate Son the rapper came out of Camden, New Jersey.
What's the rapper's name?
His name's Shaquille, the legendary Shaquille. I'm not friends with him on Facebook. His Facebook friends limit is actually reached, but he's a very well-known artist in Camden, New Jersey, who's opened for Nas. He's opened for a couple big artists.
Does he? You said he raps.
Oh,
Is he dirty or can he do?
No, it's clean in this version. He
Oh.
just took the Son, Misfortune Son, that Johnny wrote and put a rap into it, which is what I'm doing with all of my songs.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Let's
we
hear
also have These Wings.
Yes.
If you want to get to that eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna play. We're
That
gonna
has
give
a rap in
everybody
it
a
too.
good
That's very
flavor.
Christian based.
it. Okay, we can get to that afterwards if you like.
Awesome.
We'll
Thank
be
you.
back to the DJ Dani Show on HamiltonRadio.net. Stream HR2 with Laura Madsen and Adam Ratcliffe.
Oh yeah.
Call me misfortune, son. I've got the devil hanging over me. I've nowhere left to run. It seems like trouble catches up to me. Living my life like a passing stranger, down on my luck, down on the street. Try so hard to flee from the danger. Danger seems to follow me. Life's a lonely road when you're walking on your own. Nowhere left to go. Nowhere is your home. I'm not the only one who feels like everyone's abandoned me. No matter how hard I try to get out, it seems this city wants to bury me. Living my life in the concrete jungle, whistling hard just to make ends meet. Listen to the missile or the whistle on the subway, wishing it would carry
Where you wanna go?
far away.
You can take yourself.
Far away.
Shot kill, y'all.
Oh, won't you carry me far away?
Because of my past, my future is far from looking good, and my present doesn't seem to have a chance. I live in the streets, but seems funny because I'm homeless. As a youngster, I was dealing in the streets, getting money. Now I don't know what my next meal is. This is real, kids. Listen, this is a life you shouldn't deal with. Looking for shelter, traveling shelter to shelter, alone in the world, no one to help ya. How could I end this? Killing myself would be senseless, and suicide is the ultimate sin. If only I had a friend, but I burnt those bridges. And how can I fight in life feeling defenseless? The devil is alive, the struggle is real. I'm living proof, doing wrong makes it harder to survive. I can't even hold my head high, no pride, no faith in God. And God knows I'm a misfortunate child.
Can't believe that I'm still alive. For all I've done, I should have been hung and tried a long time ago. When you live by the gun, well, that's how you die. Yeah, even the devil's afraid to try, 'cause he knows I'll shoot his ass down. 'Cause living my life with a cocaine cowboy on a hellbound rodeo. 6 guns blazing at every single stranger. Devil in the trying to lay me low. Wish there was a way that I could ride away, fade into the sunset. But I know I'm not dead yet. Call me misfortune, son. I've got the devil hanging over me.
Hey, this is Laura Madsen, writer and celebrity publicist of TheLadyinRedBlog.com. For the latest takes on entertainment, music, food, fashion, and fun, come check me out at TheLadyinRedBlog.com.
And we're back to the DJ Dani Show on HamiltonRadio.net, stream HR2 with Laura Madsen, Adam Ratcliffe, and Johnni Levi. Something like that.
Rat and Levi sounds like a pizza joint.
So we just played Misfortune Son, which is from the soundtrack of The Subway Son, which is an upcoming feature film that is based on a short film. And
It's going to be a big film.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the short film The Subway Son, you have a chance to see it on February 27th. Adam, you want to say a little bit about that event?
Yeah, the short film was a 25-minute short film, and as I was saying to you before, big names come with big price tags, so you have to, generally when you're first starting out doing your own project, you have to find an efficient and affordable way to do it. So I remember the same film that I actually found Clifton Powell, that there was a gentleman by the name of Paul Atkins. A-K-I-N-S, Akins, sorry. And he was an unbelievable, gracious human being that actually I was a slave hunter in this movie called The North Star. I auditioned for Clifton Powell, and it was one of the best auditions that I had ever done, and it was in my hometown of Doylestown, go figure. You spend all this time hitting the pavements all over the country.
And it's in your hometown.
It was in my hometown. I walked out of that audition wondering where that came from, and Clifton remembered that. And it was funny because it was the first open call that I had done in like 8 years, 10 years. And I stuck around. And it turned out to be a really good film. And it's just gotten distribution through BET. It's got Jeremiah Trotter. It's got Lynn Whitfield. Jeremiah Trotter's an Eagle. He wasn't in the WWF, but he should be. Anyway, so...
Isn't that wrestling? WWF?
We already went over this. So anyway...
Let's bring it back full circle.
Oh,
sorry.
my gosh.
So,
I'm gonna
Paul Akins, he also was playing a slave hunter.
Mm-hmm.
He was a legitimate cowboy. He had a ranch up by you, right, in Gilbertsville.
Yeah. That's close to me. Yep.
And he's a pretty well-to-do guy. He had an auction company that he did really well at. So I remember him being older and kind of looking like a future me, better looking, 6'1", and I got this part as a slave hunter knowing that I was going to have to ride a horse, and I completely lied to them and said that I had spent a lot of time riding horses, and I hadn't.
And you haven't.
And I did. I rode, we have a cabin in Bradford County. I rode once at like 18. So he offered to train me. He did train me on his ranch, and he never needed to do that. And I just remembered him. It stuck with me, his graciousness. And I called him up. I said, listen, man, I need somebody to play my dad in this short film that I'm doing. It's going to be one day. I'll give you $50. Can you do it? He came and sat with me twice, took the time out. And he lives about an hour from me, and sat down with me in the Dunkin' Donuts across from my spot in Warminster. And we talked about life, and we talked about getting divorced and getting back into relationships. And lo and behold, he does this film, and he does one of the most bang-up acting jobs that I could have. He exceeded my expectations. And in the short trailer, you'll see him with Clifton Powell. Clifton Powell being a completely seasoned veteran of this game, and he holds his weight completely. 3 weeks to a month later, Paul is on a snowmobile up in his Pocono house with a bunch of buddies and loses his life in a snowmobile accident.
Oh my God.
I still have his clothes in my closet from the day when I gave him costume or whatever. But so anyway, to fast forward to this event on February 27th, he was a chief at this firehouse in Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania, and he really blows his part out of the frame. He's so good, and we did a tribute to him in front of 300 people at the Ambler Theater on November 8th of 2015, and it was received so well that his family wanted to do another tribute to him, and everybody's coming out from his town to and Johnny and I are going to play live. There's a DJ. Tickets are $30 at the door. It's at the Gilbertsville Firehouse on Philadelphia Avenue.
Yeah, well, it's at 1456 East Philadelphia Avenue in Gilbertsville.
Correct, yeah.
And you can also get tickets to the event online at thesubwaysun.com. And it's all you can eat and drink, and there's going to be auctions, and you're going to be there.
His company was an auctioneer company. They're going to auction off a car. There's going to be multiple baskets, and again, we're going to have the cast and crew.
So there'll be photo ops and
photo ops.
It starts at 7:00 on February 27th. It's a Saturday, so it'll be a lot of fun. And of course, the screening of the short film, The Subway Sun, takes place that evening as well.
So
and the family's also going to do a tribute to him that night. So again, it's this thing just keeps snowballing into something massive, and it's beyond my expectations. And Johnni Levi, he's one of the best musicians around, let alone that area. So it just happened to fall like right next to where he lives.
It'll be the closest gig I've played in a while.
That's great. That's great. So what if we play another song from the soundtrack, These Wings, and when we come back, we'll hear what you guys can do live in studio. We'll play The Time Is Now, which is, I think, one of the most compelling songs off of the soundtrack live a little bit later.
Seize the Day, The Time Is Now, written by Johnni Levi.
All right, so we'll break with These Wings and then come back and hear you guys live.
He sent me what WWF 4 times for each thing. My book, World Wrestling Federation. Like he spammed my phone.
better day. I'm gonna start over again. I'm taking it day by day, 'cause I have been so on a savior. I wanna embrace new things. I wanna dust off these wings and follow the sparrow. I wanna do right by the King. I want him to bless these wings. Be my strength, be my guide. I've been putting all the work in. I can see change coming. Oh, now my soul searching, and now that I'm home again, I wanna embrace new things. I wanna dust off these wings and follow the sparrow. I wanna do right by the King. I want him to bless these wings. Be my strength, be my guide.
Yeah, I remember being cold at night. I was thinking I should take my life, but it seems to get better every day and night. Like a sparrow, really narrow, I'm taking flight. I was praying every night and I had to get it right, so I had to do it twice, 'cause I believe everything happens for a reason. I'm still here and still breathing. Yeah, 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 let's go.
I wanna embrace new things. Woo! I wanna dust off these wings and follow.
Yeah, go.
I wanna do right by the King.
Me too.
I want him to bless these wings. Be my strength, be my guide. We were born with these wings, but we're so rarely fly to take these gifts of life that hang high. We were born with these wings, but we're so rarely fly to take these gifts of life that hang high. We were born with these wings, but we're so rarely fly. Take these gifts that hang high. So we were born with these wings, but we're so rarely fly. Guys, that hangs high. We were born with these wings, we so rarely fly. Life that hangs high.
You're good, Adam. You can give an intro.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys for having me on, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that song because the writer of that song is a man named David Rain. David is with my agency as well, Agency Connects, Pat Yorks out of Langhorne, Philadelphia area. David was also in Southpaw with me and just booked a job in a movie called 478 that is being shot in Columbus with Arnold Schwarzenegger. David is an up-and-coming...
I know who Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he wasn't in the WWF either. He should have been. But anyway, David is a really, really key part of this project. He's actually going to play the deacon in the church when Aden gets into the church, and he was very gracious in taking over these wings, which is what you just heard. The rapper in that song, we actually had a rapper from my neighborhood that I was trying to help out, get on his feet a little bit. I knew he had some talent, a guy named, I'm not going to say his name, but he winds up getting pulled over on the way to the studio in Norristown, Pennsylvania, doesn't have his license, doesn't have any registration, gets arrested on the way to the studio that night. So the rapper of that song that we just did is a guy that goes by the name of Jay Wheels. Jason is his name, and he goes by Jay Wheels on Facebook. And he just happened to be in the studio that night, and I said, we're doing this song, man. Can you listen to it while we record and see if you could come up with something, write it down? And as you heard, it came out fantastic.
And you got arrested?
No. You missed the story. So the guy that was going to originally...
The guy that never made
got arrested, so
Yeah.
you got... Okay, all right.
So I got to the studio, and we were kind
You had
of
him
struggling
there.
for... Yeah. So there
was
happened
good.
to be a guy there that
A
I said, hey,
godsend.
man, can you help us out here?
Hey, things happen for a reason
Hence
sometimes.
the urban... Yeah.
Like I said, a godsend.
The whole thing has come together in some mysterious force, divine intervention. Johnni Levi writing this song, "The Time Is Now," which I wanted to speak about, is like the essence of our film, right? I mean, what's more powerful than that statement? Seize the day, semper fi, isn't that what it's?
Mm-hmm.
Carpe diem.
Carpe diem.
Yeah.
All right. You going to perform?
Yep, we're going to perform. And again, this will be at the next event. We'll be doing this type of thing.
February
27th at the Gilbertsboro Flower House in Pennsylvania. You guys are on with This Time Is Now.
Walk into the room. Look all around you. There's gotta be someone here that needs you like you want them to. You see her from across the way. Your heart skips a beat. You make your way over, and as your eyes meet, well, you think now, the time is now. There ain't gonna be tomorrow, and the time is now. You've got to follow your heart, and the time is now. It's time for taking chances, and the time is now. Romance is all you have to lose. Try to stand casual. Yeah, you try to look so cool, but deep inside you're open wide and feel like the world's biggest fool. And as you open your mouth to speak, she cuts right to the chase. Yes, she'd like to dance with you, and she grabs you by the arms. She leads you away, 'cause the time is now. There ain't gonna be tomorrow, and the time is now. You've got to follow your heart, and the time is now. It's time for taking chances, and the time is now. Romance is all you have to lose. Oh, oh, never felt so good. Oh, 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 you never felt so good. Oh, oh, time is now. gonna be tomorrow, and the time is now. It's time for taking chances, and the time is now. Romance is all you have to gain.
Nobody knows what that was.
We had a little intervention over there. It wasn't in key, but it was.
We didn't even know what it was.
The show must go on, man. Thank you, Johnny.
That's about as real as it gets. No, that was...
They say acting, my first acting coach with Vincent D'Onofrio said, acting is the meeting of a crisis and dealing with it, just
That
like
makes
life. And
so
some of the
much
best
sense.
actors and the best moments in film have been, like...
And you know what? Arts is like a train wreck, but as long as you can keep it on the tracks, man, you're good to go. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, that's right.
And did you want to perform too, Johnny?
Yeah, I'd like
you have a
to
song?
do a song.
Did you
Johnny is
wanna-
one of the best songwriters. I'm sorry to keep saying this, but I can never emphasize how much he's done for me with the writing of the soundtrack that just keeps getting better and better. And I haven't even heard this song, so I'm eager to hear.
I like this song. It's called "I Gotta Have You," and I think it kind of represents the idea of the Subway song, which is the idea that you want everything in life, you want to go after it, but there's some things that you shouldn't have, especially since he's drug addicted, because obviously it's not something that's going to be beneficial to his life. So this song is called "I Gotta Have You."
Awesome.
Oh, that was great.
That was really good. I loved it.
It's not surprising to me how awesome that was. But the guy, like, again, I mean, that is the tone. That is the sin that actually there's a lot of scenes that Aden, the main character, has to go through in order to get to where to the grace and the fruit that the church is offering him. He doesn't sustain his place when he first gets into the church. The church is the vehicle that gets him on the road to performing in the spotlight at the grand scale. And he becomes a country artist who, again, there's rappers on his album, but the bottom line is, I went through some stuff in my life, like I said, that my father and my mother splitting was like very minuscule compared to the stuff that I have gone through as an adult and in sobriety. I've been sober for 16 years, and
Congratulations.
Thank you, and appreciate it.
It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, to me, there's no choice. I really would be dead in the street had I not prayed and done the things necessary to get to where I needed to be. I followed people around like a puppy dog and learned how to live sober by following some steps that I won't even mention. But at the level of press, radio, and film, we remain anonymous. So the bottom line is I've gone through things in my sobriety that were nightmarish, even in comparison to what I went through when I was abusing alcohol. And I lost my very first daughter in 2013. My wife and I, we got married. Matt actually Johnny wrote the song at my wedding. And, a couple months, 6 months, my daughter was full term. And she was full grown and had a full head of hair. And she was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. She just, God decided that she needed to be with him, and like I said, music heals, and I was touched by this song that I came up with, and my friend Mark Helwig, who I've known since the 7th grade, was again gracious enough to come on and add some piano, which is his gift, always has been. He's also a singer. We've played out in the Philly area for a long time together, off and on. So I would like to perform that song. It's called Elena. Her name was Elena. She was a full-grown angel, and she watches over my son Carter, my wife Andrea, and I to this day, and we think about her every single day.
I'm going to cry.
No. Don't cry.
Yeah.
The song hasn't even been sung yet. So I play the guitar. Not as well as Johnni Levi. I call myself like my mom calls herself. We're singers who can accompany ourselves. And I owe this introduction all to Mark Helwig. Right? Yep. We turn up a little bit.
so close to about to crying right now.
Well, that's all right. It's the power of music, right?
I know, but we're gonna cry. It's so beautiful. Thank you guys so much for being on my show.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you guys for coming down, Johnny and Mark. I really
Thank you,
appreciate
Johnny and Mark, Matt and Johnny.
Thanks
and
for
Mark.
having me.
Laura Madsen, I can't thank you enough. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
I'm happy to work with you guys, and I can't wait to see what happens with the film The Subway Sun.
On February.
Well, we have the event on February 27th coming up at the Gilbert.
We have filed what's called the SAG papers to shoot in. The director is a teacher actually in Jersey, down at the Jersey Shore somewhere, I think. But he's, because he has his summers off as a professor in a college, we are going to be shooting in the summer, August 2016. Into September 2016.
Yeah, and I just wanted to mention, though, if anybody wants to come to the event on the 27th, go to thesubwaysun.com. You can buy your tickets in advance, or you can buy them at the door.
And you said it's $30?
It's $30 at the door. It's $25 if you go online, and you'll see a link right there.
Yeah, I have a PayPal set
It's
up
on
for it.
February.
You get a receipt through my PayPal.
Yeah, and it's February 27th. It starts at 7 o'clock. It's over in Gilbertsville, Pennsylvania. The address is on the website.
And it's a tribute for, what's his name?
Paul
Akins.
Akins. You keep
Paul
saying
Akins.
I know.
It's
Well,
totally okay.
That's fine.
And you can see the short film, The Subway Sun, that evening, as well as enjoy some live entertainment and great food and drink.
And we will have some of the CDs burned up for purchase as well. We'll also have the DVD short film
And the
for
shirts.
purchase and the shirts.
And
Shirts
if,
are the bomb. You can see them on my website.
I want one.
Yeah, they're the bomb. I'll bring you back one on my way to New York. We get the Hamilton train station out of here. It's a very popular train station.
Yeah, and if you guys want to find out more about what's going on with Adam Ratcliffe and the movie The Subway Sun, you can follow me on Facebook, A Lady in Red Who Writes. I'm Lady in Red blog on Twitter. Also, Phila Dreams Films has a Facebook page, and we're really pumping a lot of information out of there on Facebook as well as on Twitter. It's Phila Dreams with a little underscore after it.
And we never got around to it, but I'm in Southpaw right now, the movie Southpaw that Jake Gyllenhaal got snubbed for the Academy Award.
Yep.
And I also believe that Forrest Whitaker, one of the most consistent actors, got snubbed as well. So I'm if you don't know, I'm the sheriff in the scene that tells Jake Gyllenhaal he lost his daughter to the state of New York.
I didn't see Southpaw yet, but I'm going to watch that movie. But I know what you're talking about.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for being on my show.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. Tune in next week to Red Planet Records VR album release show. Thank you guys, everyone. Good night.